Hey, Casey Eberhart here, and today it is awesome to be with you. So first off, if you and I don't know each other, let me just first introduce myself. My name is Casey Eberhart out of Los Angeles, California. I am a business coach, strategist, and consultant. I also founded and run the Platinum Inner Circle, which is a business school training accountability mastermind program, results focused for entrepreneurs and business owners that are committed at their core to producing extraordinary results. So that's not what today's video is about, but today's video is about why you and I should be engaged in a conversation. So I want to share with you a very simple story that took place about 6 months ago. And the reason it came about this morning was because I just got a call from the client this morning giving me an update. So what I thought I would do would give you kind of the story behind this, okay? So I have a client, and this is a client who was able to turn a $2,000 investment into a $500,000 return, okay? And more than that, and we'll talk about that. So here's the deal. So this client of mine is he owns a prosthetics company. Okay, he owns a prosthetics company, and he called and said, Casey, look, here's the deal. I have a really unique opportunity, and I'm wanting to know if you can help. And I said, sure. So I said, give me the scoop. So he said, look, I have been invited to speak at a conference where the head company or the head hospital was going to have 40 of its decision makers, 40 heads. So I don't totally understand how the hospital system works, but this particular group has 40 locations, if you will. Okay, so all 40 of the heads of those locations were coming to do like a board meeting type thing. And this client was offered the opportunity to come speak to this group of 40 people to talk about the latest and greatest what's going on in the prosthetics world. Okay, now here's the deal. He's not a speaker, he's not a trainer, he's not a marketer, he's a practitioner. He makes prosthetics for folks, right? Well, he had 11, I just wanted to look down at my notes here. I want to make sure I got my numbers right. He had 11 of the 40 as clients already. So 40 independent, I don't know, I think they're all dependent. I think it's all part of the same hospital type chain, but he had 11 of the 40 offices, okay? So I said, look, what is each office worth to you for profit in a year? And he said 500,000. Okay. So if he were to pick up one extra client of these 40, it would be worth $500,000 to his business in profit. Okay. So I didn't want gross. I wanted profit. He said 500,000. I said, okay, cool. I said, so what's the deal? And he said, well, look, here's the thing. There's 40 people there. I've got time. I've got about an hour I think it was between a half hour and an hour to speak. The only other speaker there is potentially a competitor. But we're the only two speakers that are going to be at this event. And I was like, okay, that's cool. He said, I said, so what's your end game? What are you trying to do? And he says, well, look, he goes, first off, I need to have really goodwill for the 11 people that I'm there. I want to be able to shake hands. I want to give them something cool. But secretly, if I could pick up just one additional client out of there, it would like the business changes. And I was like, okay, cool. So I said, here's what we do. I said, what's the budget? What are we going to do as a budget? He said, well, considering that one additional client is $500,000, you know, I'll do $5,000. I'll throw $5,000 into it. And I said, okay. I said, I think we could do the same thing with a lot less than 5,000 bucks. I said, would you be willing to invest $2,000? He said, no question. Easy. Okay, so I said, okay, so our budget we're going to play with in this case is $2,000. Okay, now the reason that this is important is you got to understand that his business is one customer, a year-long business. His lifetime value of that customer is millions. So this was just year one. He already had 11 existing relationships. Coming to get 1 out of 29 additional people should be pretty easy, okay? So, and I didn't want to break his bank. This was the first time that he was going to use the service that I represent and I helped him use. So I said, look, if he told me 5,000, I wanted to break it down to 2,000. I said, okay. So here's what we did. Okay. So before I tell you what we did, I asked him the lay of the land, and he said, look, so it's a board meeting, so they're going to be sitting in a square, like a horseshoe square type thing at a hotel. And I said, when do you go? And he says, well, the thing that really sucks is I'm right after lunch. And I said, okay, that's cool. As a speaker, speakers hate going right after lunch because everybody comes in late. They've got the turkey sandwich coma going on. I love it because the people that are there and ready are like on it. But he said, I'm just afraid it's going to be lame. And I was like, okay, cool. So we've got $2,000 to play with. So here's what we did. I work with a company that we can personalize and customize gifts. So things like coffee mugs and water bottles and brownies and popcorn and caramel corn and truffles and plaques and all kinds of stuff we can customize and put people's names on one at a time. So not like a promotional product company where you have to order thousands of something at a time. Our company does this one at a time within like way more reasonable than you're even going to find it for a promotional products company. So I said, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't want to say his name. So here's the deal. I said, tell me what the deal is with the two companies. He says, well, our company and the hospital company, we've had a partnership for over 16 years. And I said, okay, so here's what we did. We created 40 individual water bottles. Okay, so we had a water bottle created that had the hospital's logo and name on it. Okay, so it did have the hospital's logo, not my client's logo, but the hospital's logo, because these people all were very proud. They had pride in what they and who they work for. It had their logo plus the sweetest sound to a person's own ears, their own name. So it literally had their name prominently displayed on it. Okay, so these water bottles we created, it had their logo, and we just used a merge field on the water bottle. So we only had to create it one time. We just plugged in a bunch of names and printed them out within 24 hours. Okay, so each of these water bottles, and I'm rounding up here, were $40. Okay, so each of these water bottles were $40. So we had 40 times 40. Okay, so we had $1,600 in water bottles. Okay, the next thing that we did was we created 150 personalized brownies. I'm spelling that wrong. Personalized brownies. Okay, now these brownies are individually wrapped. They taste amazing, by the way. And what we did on the label of the brownies was we created a partnership logo. So in this case, what we did was we created, it was two puzzle pieces, and one company's logo and another company's logo. We created this in like 5 minutes. And then we put proud partnership of 16 years, because they had been in partnership for 16 years. Thanks for being a part of the piece of the puzzle. And then we put their individual names on there. So there were 40 people. So I think we might have did 160, but I just rounded it off to this. So each of these was $2.50. Okay, so each brownie. So here we had $300 in brownies. Okay, so we had $300 in brownies. The next thing is we shipped them. So we shipped them directly to the hotel where he was speaking. We took care of all of that. The system just put them all in a box and shipped the water bottles and the brownies to the hotel where he was speaking. Okay, so let's put $100 in there. So he had $2,000 wrapped up in this project. So we had a water bottle for all 40 influencers with their logo and their name on it individually. And then we had each of them got 4 brownies with the double company logo on it and their name on it. So this wasn't just some generic brownie. It wasn't some brownie that had just a logo on it. It had their individual name on it. Okay. Now we shipped all these to the hotel. So here's what he did. While everybody was at lunch that day, he literally went around and put 4 brownies and a water bottle in front of each person where they were seated. Now, it was great because he took note of where each person was sitting. So when they came back in from lunch, they sat down to 4 brownies and a water bottle with their name on it, completely personalized. Now, here's what happened. He didn't even really get a chance to speak because everybody was so blown away. They started asking him questions and talking, and it broke the ice, and he built really goodwill. So we only spent about 10 minutes kind of talking about prosthetics and basically said, hey, look, I'm here to serve you guys. We just wanted to come up and really say thank you for being a partner of ours. And if there's anything we can do to help any of you, like, we're happy to help. Here's a couple of little pieces of technology that'll be able to help. So here is what happened. He walked out of that presentation with contract in hand for 1 office. Okay? Now remember, what is 1 office worth to him? 1 office is worth $500,000. Okay? Now, here's the question. I asked him, I said, could you attribute this 1 office to that water bottle and brownies? And he said, absolutely. Because everybody else was trying to just sell, and we actually appreciated our client and appreciated the relationship. And because of that, what ended up happening was the 11 people that were up here that he already had worked with started telling the others and talking about he was the talk of the event. Now, remember, this was an internal meeting event. This was not some speaker event. This was not some outside event. This was just an internal, like a forward retreat or a staff retreat for the 40 heads. So he had 1 office coming out of there, okay? Now, here's what happened. I asked him, I said, how many people posted those water bottles and brownies on social media? And he was like, our Instagram account blew up, our Facebook account blew up. I wouldn't even know how to count it, how many even. And I said, did that help? And he goes, we are still getting calls to make individual water bottles for each of the offices. Okay? And he said to me something really important. He said, Case, he said, you know what's really cool? That most people that are requesting water bottles for people at the staff, because what happened is those guys went home, took their water bottles back to the office, then the higher ups were like, that's so cool, where'd you get that? Oh, I got that from, and told them my client's company name. And so then they're like, well, how do I get one? So he is continuously, so he's probably made a few extra water bottles, but it has furthered the conversation with the 29 offices that he does not work with yet. 28, I should say now, that he hasn't worked with yet. And I said, where are the requests coming from? He said, this is the best part. The request for more water bottles and thus conversations and relationship building and deepening that relationship are happening primarily with the 28 companies, the 28 hospitals that he is not working with currently. From getting in the office and getting in the front door of the decision makers at the top is a $40 investment worth it. That's the difference. So here's the deal. In business, sometimes we have to make investments in maintaining customers, getting new customers, thanking customers, building relationships. And so much right now, you hear lots of thinking outside the box, pivoting, all of these different things. Well, this is why I believe that you and I should be having a conversation. If you want to get a 25,000% return on marketing, we should have a chat. I'll drop a link in the comment section of this video. If you want to have a chat, I am more than willing to have a chat with you. But here's the deal. You want to surround yourself with someone or some people or a team that can help bring new, fresh ideas to your marketing that result in results. Okay? So here's the deal. I wish I had one of the water bottles because it would make this presentation so much cooler. But look, you can print water bottles, like I said. You can print coffee mugs. I mean, we literally do, one-off coffee mugs. This is a friend of mine who created a coffee mug with her name on it, just saying thank you, Casey, on it. It's like $10. Like, it's nothing, you guys. But if we don't start investing in our relationships and investing in our businesses and how we're talking to our potential customers, don't leave it open for some guy like me to come in and take that business away from you. It's just going to happen, right? And I'm just saying me, but it could be anybody, right? He or she who invests in their customers the most will almost always win the game. So look, If you want to increase your return to up to 25,000%, you've got customers that you want to get in front of, you've got customers that you need to sell more to, win back, reactivate, bring back in, or just simply thank referrals, let you and I have a chat. I look forward to that conversation, and I know that your business and your bank account will also look forward to that conversation. Until next time, guys, have an amazing day. Now go give somebody else an absolutely awesome day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Ciao for now.